Hey everybody, Ron here. I am back from GaryCon. I had a fantastic time, and today's video is just going to be a vlog about my experiences there at GaryCon and Lake Geneva in general. So I'll be, referencing some notes, but also every now and then I'll be putting pictures up here on the video, so you folks can also see some of the sights that I saw. So I was there for 3 days. I played in several games. I want to say, let me count here. I played in 6 games, all of which I had positive experiences in. I played Everyday Heroes, played one session of Shadow Dark, and I played one session of First Edition. On Thursday, I played Everyday Heroes, All Roads Lead to Redemption. This is a organized play module for Everyday Heroes, where you play Agents of Redemption. You have a little action over there in Europe, and it was a whole bunch of fun. I played Lieutenant Wright, who is the charming hero with the military background. I have played that character before when Brian Isakoff ran a one-shot for some folks from Mr. Mean's community. Hi, Mr. Mean. I jumped into this game last minute since I was pretty much the last person to pick a character. I picked something that I was very familiar with. And the players were impressed with what a charismatic hero can do in Everyday Heroes. I mean, it's pretty cool, right? Like, kind of felt like I was playing the D&D 4th Edition Warlord, handing off commands here, commands there, moving people around. It's a pretty cool system. I love it, Everyday Heroes. Of course, you folks know that. I have several videos on the system. I plan on doing more. So that was a really fun time.
You know me.
His words.
Yes, you are me.
Your words.
Oh, a turtle.
Are echoing in his head.
Okay, did you do at least 14?
Yes. I did 16.
How do they know about
I mean 14 points.
Yes.
Oh yeah. There's like we're at 20.
There's no
already.
ones.
He begins to
Three sixes. No, there's one one. That's a six.
Okay.
6, 6, 6, 1.
Okay.
Energy
Snake
emanates from him.
So-
I hate it when they put the
You
logo on
feel
the 1
a
instead of the
sense
6.
of
Like, come on,
Well, there's
30,
there's
42.
snake eye on the 1, and then a
You feel this energy hits the back
whatever
of
it's
your
called,
head,
the snake with the
and then
spear
just as quickly as it comes, it disappears,
on the
almost
6.
as if nothing happened at all.
59.
Elijah simply
I'm slow at this. 62.
You've already killed that.
67.
But
Friday, I played 3 games. I started with my Shadow Dark game, Castle Falcos, which was a 2-hour game. I can't remember the gentleman's name who ran it, but he did a really good job. He was talking in voices. You don't have to do the voice all the time when role-playing, folks, but, it is nice to have. So the guy basically ran Shadow Dark rules as written. He added a couple of things. He gave us 2 luck tokens, which was cool. I ended up in a group with me playing a bard and the guy next to me playing a bard. So we had 2 bards in a group. So it was like, oh yeah, we're about to be a luck generating machine. That actually did not happen. We both failed our luck rolls, and we were not generating the luck tokens that I thought we were going to. We blitzed through the scenario. We didn't get through the scenario. We got partway through, and fun was had by all. It was a great time. It's my only Shadow Dark game, which I was a little disappointed in. The one Shadow Dark game that I had was perhaps my most fun session there. After that, I finally got to play Everyday Heroes Pacific Rim. This was another organized play scenario by Evil Genius Games. Pacific Rim First Flight. I had a good time with that. I definitely see how the rules work. That's basically it. I don't have anything else to report about it. It was a fun time, and I'm glad I got a chance to play Pacific Rim. So now that I've had that experience, I feel more confident in running that whenever I get a chance. But I definitely want to run that game in person because I have these HeroClix Everyday Heroes minis, and I totally want to use them. Check them out. Pretty cool, right? I mean, look at that. Yeah, that one too. Yeah, so I got 10 of these. Yeah, so I got, 5 Jaegers and 5 Kaiju. So one of these days I'm going to get a chance to run that game. My third game on Friday was a Cyberpunk demo. A guy that was super enthusiastic about Cyberpunk Red. I got to play it a little bit. He was planning on running a short scenario. I actually had to leave early, but I still had a good time. I'm looking forward to playing some Cyberpunk again. But I enjoyed that. And speaking of Cyberpunk, I'll talk about my Cyberpunk related story a little bit later. And then on Saturday, I had 2 games. My first game on Saturday was another Everyday Heroes scenario, Seeking Redemption. This was an intro scenario that was meant to be run in 2 hours or less. I played with a nice couple. Once again, had a great time. I am so glad there was so many opportunities to play Everyday Heroes. I think I was signed up for only one of those sessions, and the other 2 sessions that I got a chance to play were sessions that I just dropped in because they had availability. One of the things I have to say about Gary Con is that there's plenty of opportunity just to go pop into a random game. And speaking of popping up into random games, my last RPG scenario on Saturday was a first edition scenario. I got to play with my good internet friend Mark Clover, who I have known for 25 years now, since the EN World Forums. He has been playing D&D since 1974, and he's the first person that I have ever met in person that has played the RPG since the beginning. I did play this first edition game with a bunch of guys that are obviously have more experience in first edition than I did, although I started in 1987 and I did play a little bit of first edition, but I had a blast. And you know what? All D&D is fun. All D&D has its appeal, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, you can still play original D&D from 1974 if you want. You can play Blackmore. There are still people playing Blackmore. You know, the previous iteration, the first real role-playing game, you know, the game that Dave Arneson ran and basically came up with. The whole thing, there's a whole story, evolution, all this kind of stuff. There's books about it. But whatever you're playing, so long as you're having fun, that's fine by me. And of course, I met a whole bunch of great people. I met Luke Gygax. I met Paul White, more famously known as The Big Show, WWE wrestler. He's now with AEW. Super nice guy. We talked parenthood a little bit. He was just there to game, just like, you know, Tom Morello and Joe Manganiello, who I also met, and who signed my Shadow Dark book, and all those other folks in Joe's D&D group. They're just a bunch of geeks like us, except they just happen to be more famous. Other folks that I met Margaret Weiss. This is the second time I met her. First time I met her was at Gen Con a long time ago. Super nice lady. She posed for a picture with me, and that was great. Mike Merrills I met, D&D fame. Easley and Elmore, the artists of my childhood. Elmore in particular, I blame for me being in this hobby in the first place. You folks know the Mention Red box cover. I have a poster of that in my gaming room. I met Kelsey Dion. She is just as nice in person as she appears to be online. Totally genuine, totally a sweetheart. You know, so glad to meet her. She signed my Shadow Dark book as well. And finally, I met Mike Pondsmith, Mr. Cyberpunk himself. I'm going to confess, I did not even know who Mike Pondsmith was until about maybe less than 10 years ago. And I didn't know that he looked like me until even more recently than that. I never was interested in the Cyberpunk RPG when I was a kid. I was all about fantasy and a little bit harder sci-fi or different types of sci-fi. So I never paid attention to it. So I just assumed that everybody that designed the games were white. Don't take any offense out of that. I'm not trying to make any kind of statements or anything like that. But you know, I mean, the truth of the matter is, like, particularly in the 80s, there just weren't a lot of people, you know, that had my complexion that was playing D&D and role-playing games in general. Not that it bothered me. I'm just stating fact. Mike has been a significant contributor to the RPG community and to culture overall because, you know, Cyberpunk is this game, Castle Frankenstein, you know, Teenagers from Outer Space, other stuff like that. Those games have gone on to some popularity, in particular Cyberpunk. I don't know if you guys have heard about this, but there's a really awesome computer game called Cyberpunk 2077. Anybody hear that? Yeah, and then Cyberpunk Red, of course, which I believe was principally designed by his son, Cody. But he's been a long-time contributor to the community. I'm so glad to see that he got a Lifetime Achievement Award from Gary Con, and just a really nice guy, really cool guy. So really glad, you know, really happy for him and all of his accomplishments, and I'm really glad I got a chance to meet him. Aside from people, the thing that got me to go up to Lake Geneva is I really wanted to go to the birthplace of D&D. I wanted to go to that little memorial plaque that they have by Geneva Lake with Gary Gygax. I wanted to go to 330 Center Street, the house where he typed up and designed and really edited Dungeons and Dragons, where it really became a thing. I was so excited for that. And I got a chance to do that. I got to Geneva Lake, took a picture of the plaque and everything like that. So it was cool. I went to 330 Center Street. Turns out folks were just finishing up a D&D game in there, which, by the way, that's something you can do. You can to space to play some D&D. Apparently they do organized tours. I just busted in there. The lady that owned the house was totally nice. Paul Stormberg was there. I think he was the one that was actually running the game. He was totally cool. Kind of gave us an impromptu short tour. Took us down to the basement where the sand table was. Not Gary's original sand table, but a sand table like it, where he and his friends spent many, many hours playing all sorts of war games down there. And it was just so cool to be in that basement. It was so cool just to be in that house, to see that house. I feel like it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I was really glad to go up there and see those landmarks. I never got out to the horticultural hall, but there was just an announcement that the Lake Geneva City Council approved the commissioning of a statue of Gary Gygax sitting at a table. I'll see if I can find a picture and post it up here. I'm going to put that statue of him sitting at a table, and there's an actual table with places to sit, I presume, in the park. And maybe I'm going to go up there and visit again, just so I can go there and get to the horticultural hall. We'll see. But anyway, folks, I had a fantastic time at GaryCon. I don't know how many times I'm going to get up to Lake Geneva. It is a little bit out of the way. I'm glad I got there at least once in my life. I could check it off my bucket list. Like I said before, when the statue becomes a thing, maybe I'll get up there again and go and visit the statue, what have you. But to Luke, Gygax, and all the folks that helped coordinate GaryCon, and to all the wonderful folks that I've met and caught up with and all that, I thank you for giving me the time of my life, for helping me celebrate my 50th birthday in the way that I did. And it was just an amazing time. Thanks, folks, for watching this vlog. And until next time, see you later.